Snapper, what's going on? Thanks for all the feedback from yesterday's money mini lesson. A lot of people said, that's a really great lesson. You make it sound easy. Other people said, it's too easy. You're making it sound too easy. It's not really that easy. Compared to what? If you're comparing it to a fantasy about that you have to work hard to make money, then yeah, it's easier than what you would think. Hard work's got nothing to do with it. Work equals force times distance. This is not my opinion, this is what work is. Everyone knows this. The amount of work that you put into something is literally the amount of force that you apply multiplied by the distance that you apply. That's work. The people here who are working the hardest, the people who are the hard workers, they're the guys putting in the most force over the biggest distances. That's got nothing to do with money, it's got nothing to do with how much they make. And if they're repeatedly putting in great amounts of force, and they haven't come up with systems, or levers, or tools, or delegations to not have to do it, they just want to do it themselves because they were told that they got to work hard, well then they're fucking stupid, and they won't make money because they're stupid. It's got nothing to do with hard work. Right now, if I take my current position, and then I lay out every single day of every single action step I ever took back to the time when I was broke, what I'd have is a straight line of action steps that I took. There's only a handful of periods when I actually was working hard. It was usually when I was at a PT session, lifting up weight, exerting force over a distance. That's the only time I was working hard. Other than that, it was just action. It was specific concerted action every day. I don't even walk to the car anymore. I just got this thing. I don't exert any force walking to the car. The actual action steps, the actual amount of work that you have to put in to go from here to financial independence is not as much, it's not as hard as you think. Financial independence, it's a straight line. Every single day of concerted actions, you do them every single day and you get there. It's a straight line. But, and this is a very, very, very big but, the thing that fucks up that straight line is the mind game. It's your mental game. If, for example, financial independence comes here in the journey, but you have a fantasy that it's going to happen at this period of time, you'll beat yourself up. And you'll think, fuck. Why aren't I getting there? Why is it taking so long? All these other people seem to have it. Probably because they've been on the journey longer than you. When this is your fantasy expectation, but this is the reality of the situation, this period here will feel hard. And for some people, they will mislabel that as hard work. They're working so hard. Really, they're probably not working any harder than anyone else. They just have a fantasy. A fantasy that feels a bit painful, and so they call it hard work. It's not hard work. So once they get to that period of time, they realize, okay, maybe it was a fantasy, they push their goal out a bit more, maybe they have the fantasy that they'll become financially independent here. The next thing they're going to have is their fears. Their fears fuck you up. If you get really easy work and you attach fear to it, the easy work becomes hard work in your mind. You'll think it's hard work, but it's not. You're just scared doing easy work. This here ledge is maybe 10 centimeters wide. I could walk across this all day long. It's very easy. Look, it even gets narrower here and no worries. Now, if that there wasn't my balcony, but it was an 850-meter drop off the tallest building on the planet, can you see that this easy work would all of a sudden be a lot harder? It's not harder work. You're just scared as fuck, and it feels hard. You've got the fantasy, now you've got the fear, and it just feels hard. It's not hard. One of the most debilitating fears that I see every single day is the fear of failure. And then extrapolate it out, it's not even the failure, it's what people will think of the failure. So the more that you care about what people think of you, the more fear that you're going to have. And the slower you're going to get to financial independence, and the harder it's going to feel. Right now you have a comfort zone. You live in the comfort zone. You've set it up, you live there, you feel comfortable, you feel cozy. Outside of the comfort zone, you think will expose you to more reprimand and judgment. The more money you go and make, the more success you have in business, the more people you serve. Remember what we talked about yesterday? The more people will praise you, and therefore the more people will judge you. If you're not ready to deal with that, if you have such a strong fear about what other people are going to say and think and feel about you, you will keep playing a small game. And it will be frustrating because you're trapped in this comfort zone, and every now and then you'll push against the border of it and it will feel hard, it'll feel painful, and you'll think it's hard work. So firstly, you've got the fantasy about how long you thought it was going to take. So you're beating yourself up because it's taking so long. Then you jump forward to the fear, and then you're worried about what other people are going to think and say. Sometimes that fear is so strong that we just veer off the path and we go and get distracted and we go and do some other shit for a little bit before eventually we might get back on track. And then, when we get back on track, we have a slightly more realistic expectation, but it's still a fantasy compared to the reality, and so we're judging ourselves, and then we're beating ourselves up again. This feels hard. And once we have a fantasy, then we hit the next block. in the road. It's called shiny ball syndrome. These are all the other fucking things that you could do with your life, all the other vehicles. All the other strategies, all the other industries, all the other companies, all the other products that you could sell, all the other career paths, the degrees, the colleges, there's so many different things. Sometimes you could be halfway there, but because you're still holding onto this fantasy and thinking that you're doing something wrong, you'll start looking for other different things, and then sometimes you'll go and do one. And if you're the kind of person who has a lot of fantasies, you'll port those fantasies over to the new thing. And you'll have a fantasy that you're going to succeed in a very short period of time again. And then you'll beat yourself up, and this will feel hard. It's not fucking hard work. It's the ledge on the thing. It's not hard. You just got a fantasy, and you're beating yourself up and comparing yourself to other people. And then because you've jumped from this, and you've had the fears, and you've jumped from fantasy to shiny ball syndrome, and you've changed your course, you'll get to here, and you have more fears about what people are thinking. They'll think you're unstable. Because you are. And eventually, if this path isn't that important to you, and you realize that, you know what, this was your original goal, you go back again, and you'll get back on path. I get this every single day. 10 times a day I get this. Oh, I've tried this and that and the other, and I just can't get clear, and I can't get results, and blah, 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 blah. I say to these people, look, I can give you another strategy, but it's just another line. It's not going to get you results if you don't pull your fucking head in and get straight, get clear. Because you can have 100 strategies that work, and then you go and run fears and fantasies until you get so fed up that you go and get shiny ball syndrome and quit. And you'll lose the game. And you'll spend your whole life working when in fact you were on the path. You had the strategies that work. You just didn't get your fucking mind sorted. So that concludes this morning's impromptu mini lesson. That was a tangent, the whole thing. I was just wanted to show you work and force and distance. But if there's one thing that I want you guys to get from that is the fear. Is that worrying and caring what people think of you. If you can drop that, everything becomes easier. You want to worry about what you think of you, not what other people think of you. So firstly, if there's something that you don't like about you, maybe a haircut or your weight, go and fix it. Go do something about it. Go and get yourself to a point where you're grateful for you and you like you. When you like you, you can go into the world, and when other people say something, you just think, fuck off. Go and write down the 10 things that you're most afraid of being judged for by other people, and then go and do it. Well, if you're afraid of something and you go and do it 100 times, you're not afraid of it anymore. If you get overly worked up about what people think you look like or the clothes that you wear and people judging you for that, good. It's Christmas shopping. Go get colourful pajamas and head to the shopping centre. I do this all the time. I go to breakfast. I go to the shopping centre in my pajamas. We went and did recently in the Lambo, we get ice cream in big colourful onesies. Some people look, some people make some faces, but if you like you and you're comfortable, who gives a fuck? You know, it doesn't matter what other people think. So go and write a list of all your fears and go and face them all. Because once you face all your fears, they're not fears anymore. When you've got no fears, your run to success is a straight line. And let me clarify real quick. Fear itself is not the enemy. I actually don't stand by this idea of eliminating all of your fears, because fear serves you. If you didn't have fear, you would go and do stupid shit. You would go and run out onto the road, you wouldn't have to look. When you pulled out at the intersection, you would fucking die. If you had a state of zero fear, you would also pull out of the state of doing sensible, balanced, rational risk management with all the decisions that you make in life. So you need it. But you do not need irrational fear that doesn't serve you. If you have stupid irrational fears about people's opinions of you that's not serving you, go and break that shit. Snapper, check out this number plate. I don't know if you can see it from this far away. I want that number plate. Snapper, important announcement. These are chocolate truffles. This is my girlfriend's book. These are them in the flesh. If you want to eat these, come and do so. These are raw, organic chocolate truffles. They're healthy. This is Robin. Tomorrow morning we're doing she's doing a book signing. Details, go.
9:30 to 11:30, Corinda Fundies.
Corinda Fundies, 9:30 a.m. We're all going to be there. Come and get some truffles. The books will be there. They'll be on sale. You can get them signed. This makes for a killer Christmas present. If you're useless as tits on a bullet buying people presents like me, get the book. In the boat, babe.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. Every now and then, big old boat comes by with a bunch of party animals on it. I appreciate that in the middle of a weekday. Hello? Hello? I'm waving vigorously. Wave back. Oh man, there's a lot of people on that boat. Do you think that they'll want to come to have the truffles tomorrow?
I think they will.
These guys, come get the truffles. Ready? 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 Go! Another one. Go! Good man. Bring him back. Oh, yes, little man. Oh, you are so cute. Good morning, Snapper. It's a very beautiful day today.